Hey everybody, Logan here. Today we're covering a controller and, well, this one might be a little controversial. Not really. Depends on who you are and, well, how you like to buy your controllers. This controller that I'm about to show you can be compared to, well, one of the most popular wired controllers for the Xbox over the last 2 years, I'd say, and that's the Gamesir G7 SE. It has been extremely popular because of its features and its price tag. It sits at $44.99, but the only way to get it is, well, online, either through Amazon or through Gamesir's website. And, well, not everybody wants to pay for shipping or pay for Amazon Prime. Now, this one, from a company you may all know, well, that's PowerA. You guys know that PowerA sends me quite a bit of stuff, so they reached out to me and said, hey, we want you to cover this one. And I said, you know what? This one is extremely promising. Why? Because it doesn't just have all the features everybody wants in a very, very cost-effective package starting at $39.99 for the standard one and up to $42.99 for the different colorways. But this one, you can go walk into any local store, Best Buy, GameStop, what have you, and just pick it up. You don't have to worry about shipping. You don't have to worry about any of that. Extra memberships. What is that? That is the PowerA Advantage Plus. So the Advantage Plus has what everybody wants in a controller these days. Hall effect sticks. Now it also has all those pro features too. It is wired, so that's what's going to keep the price down. And it's even cheaper than the G7 SE. So, in my opinion, this might be the next big thing. Now, this is the one they sent me. There's also one that has a skull on the silver, and there's another black one. I know they're coming out with different color variations, but this is the one they sent me. This is their newest one. And I was like, sure, I definitely want to cover this, and I can't wait to show it to you because this might be your next controller purchase, especially with Hall effect sticks. Let's unbox it, take a look, test it out. Let's see if it holds up. I have a feeling it will. Here we go. The PowerA Advantage Plus wired controller for Xbox. Now, like I mentioned in the intro, this direct competition controller is, you know, the one that might steal your business from Gamesir. And you know what? I don't think there's a problem with that. Why? Because, well, it's PowerA and you can walk into any store here in the States. Like I said, your Targets, your Walmarts, your Best Buys, your GameStop, and pick up a PowerA controller now that they've offered their Advantage Series, but Advantage Series Plus. And the big thing about this is right there, it says your Hall effect sensor. So you have Hall effect sticks. Now you also have mappable buttons and the quick twist thumbsticks that we've only seen on the Fusion Pro 4 and the Fusion Pro Wireless until now. So that is a big, big thing to have in a value-priced Xbox wired controller. So we did have, like I mentioned, the Fusion Pro 4, which is a wired controller, but it's like leaps and bounds above this one. It's about twice the price. I think this might be the one that everybody's going to snatch up because of those adjustable sticks and, of course, Hall effect and mappable flappy paddles on the back. You have to have those these days. So let's take a closer look. If you look, you can also download the PowerA app and customize everything that you want through there. So that's going to be fantastic. And again, like I said, you have the adjustable sticks, Hall effect, and programmable flappy paddles on the back. Xbox Series XS, Xbox One, and Windows 10 11. For people asking, no, it's not compatible with Apple with your iPhone. I mean, you know how many people ask me that? I'm sorry, but Apple people are slightly a bit frustrating because they don't tend to watch the video or listen. They're just like, what about my iPad? It's an Xbox controller for Windows and Microsoft products. Xbox, Windows, come on, people. Not trying to be mean, but just, come on. All right, so let's open up this bad boy. Let's see how it looks. With this, you know, I would think, no, I'm not gonna call this a bad boy. This is a beautiful lady. That's what that is, with all the flowers and the stuff. So we'll see how awesome she is. Let's go with that. So let's open her up. Oh, wow, I was not expecting that gloss matte finish. Like, I was not expecting that. So you've got the left side that's got a matte finish in the purple background, but the flowers and the leaves are a gloss finish, where on the right hand side it's all gloss. That is an interesting option for a paint job. And it doesn't look like the one, that gloss style, that attracts the fingerprints. No, I'm sure they're there, but you really can't see that. That's nice. You've got gray sticks with the black and gray, or that would be white maybe. That's more of a gray for the AVXY. Standard shoulder buttons and triggers. Now if we go to the back, now that is one thing, you don't have trigger locks back here, so for that you're going to have to go one step up and go to that Fusion Pro 4. But you do have a set of programmable flappy paddles here in the back with your program button, Type C, and here we go. If you want to take a look, this is where your adjustable sticks come into play. 3 different heights: low, high, medium, low. And you can do that with both sticks. You just twist. Now, I have plenty of experience with these. I have these adjusted on my Fusion Pro Wireless to just the way I like it. I keep the right stick at the highest peak, and then this one, it depends on what I'm playing, but usually it stays in the middle of the 3. So I really like this design choice. I'm not a big fan of the flowery stuff, but hey, a lot of people are. They like the difference. They like being, you know, something that's not just green or black or white or orange, you know, something that has a bit of a different design aspect. And hey, you know, it doesn't look bad. The art is nice. So that's really cool. You've got a 10-foot Type-C cable, solid black, anti-friction rings, membrane buttons, a glossy D-pad that's actually very soft. Not as loud as some of the standard PowerA ones, which I like that. I always like a quieter D-pad. That's a big reason I'm not a big fan of the standard Series X D-pad. For example, if I just grab this one, which is the Doom one, so loud. And I don't like that. I like a quieter D-pad, because the D-pad, depending on what you're playing, you're constantly going to be moving back and forth, especially if you're playing a fighting game, a beat 'em up, or a platform or something like that. You're going to be using that D-pad quite a bit, and to have it just constantly yell at you going clack, 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 clack can get pretty annoying. I like the fact that it's a soft, quiet D-pad. The triggers are a little loud, but that's as to be expected. They don't have the dampeners, I guess you'd call them, that are in the standard Series X controller. But hey, I don't really have a problem with that. And if you're using controllers, again, like if you're going to the Fusion Pro 4 or the Fusion Pro Wireless, the trigger locks will dampen that noise. But at a $40 price tag, and like I said, the colorways, depending on when you're getting them, because I have seen these go on sale. The previous color one with the skull and the flowers on it was $39, but it's $42.99. This one's sitting at $42.99 as well. But you'll be able to walk into a Best Buy or GameStop or Walmart or Target and end up buying the Advantage Plus line, where you can't do that with, like I mentioned before, the G7 SE. Now, if you're looking at something like this, you're going to get the Hall effect sticks. You will not have 1000 hertz on here, but again, the Xbox can be finicky. Yes, you can update your G7 SE to 1000 hertz, but the Xbox is about finicky, and he usually doesn't allow you to do anything over 250 hertz. So that's going to be an issue. With this, you really don't have to worry about it. It's going to be just your standard Xbox fare. So you do have your Hall effect sticks, your adjustable height sticks, you have your membrane buttons, and Type-C 10-foot cable with 2 programmable flappy paddles and your laser etched grip. So it's not just something that would just be soft or smooth and just slide right out of your hand. It is a nice grip. I've mentioned that in all my PowerA videos, especially the newer ones. I do like that, the grip. It's very nice, and it's also the same grip on your bumpers and your triggers. I think this is a really nice controller, and I think this might just be the one that people start picking up, especially knowing that it will keep you from having drift. With all that said, it looks great, it feels great, fantastic unboxing, but how does it perform? Let's test it. Alrighty, time for latency test. Now, one thing I want to apologize for is the light not being directly on the controller because it is glossy. I was having problems with the lighting here, so just excuse me for that. But otherwise, yeah, we're going to test this out, of course, like we do anytime we have a controller that needs to be used on Xbox or PC. Latency is always important. I've come to understand that there's a lot of people that don't care as much on the Switch, and you know, sometimes it's not as important, but I try to bring that as much as I can. But here we have the Xbox Series XS and PC Windows 10 and 11 controller, and well, if this is going to compete directly with the G7 series, especially the SE at a lower price, it needs to perform well. So let's start. Alrighty, there we go. Let's go back and take a look. Now, if we start with the face buttons as the A, B, X, and Y, solid numbers, a little higher in the average latency than I was expecting from the X and the A, which it's on this side, but these buttons on this side seem to be a bit lower. So it ranges from 2.7 to that 3.3 millisecond. It's not bad. That's actually a very good range. Of course, the lower the better, because then you get faster response time, but we're talking 0.0 milliseconds. So for the price, you're looking at a great average latency. Now, the minimum latency can go down as low as 0.5, which is not bad, but the max latency, 6.5 with the A button, that is still not bad at all. But still, yeah, the average, it tends to bring up the average at 3.2, but overall that's not bad. The bumpers are actually pretty good with 3.0 and 2.7 respectively, and the same minimum at 0.6, and maximum is looking at 6.3 to 5.5. That's a bit of a difference, but not bad. Now, the triggers, the left and right triggers, are slightly bit higher than what I was hoping for, but still very, very good at 3.8 and 3.2 average respectively again. So 0.6, everything seems to be around that 0.6 average for minimum latency. Now the max latency is still not bad at all at 6.6 to 5.8. So if that was your average, then you're looking at questionability, but you're not. So when you go to the select/back start menu buttons, that's not bad. That's actually pretty quick, but you're not going to be pressing those as fast. The left stick is about what I thought, and same as the right stick when you're pressing them in, around that 3.1. And again, all these buttons seem to be right in the same ballpark. The only thing I did notice is the D-pad left and up over here is significantly higher in latency than on this side. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's just my unit. But with that D-pad left being a minimum of 1.0 millisecond minimum latency, not bad, but a lot of the other ones are 0.4. But then you look at the up, the D-pad up, it's 1.2 millisecond minimum, but the average is 3.8. It just makes me go, But they're not terrible numbers. I just questioning why one side is over the other. But again, this is just within the 30 to 40 press range right out of the box. Things will change. That latency, the minimum and the maximum, will change over time because of wear and tear and usage. So just keep that in mind. PowerA controllers, in my personal opinion, stand the test of time. I have their standard wired controller, and I've had it since almost day one for the Series X. I've had it for about, I want to say since 2021, and that's what, a year and some change after the console came out, and it still runs perfectly with no drift. And those have ALPS sticks, these have Hall effect. These are definitely the upgraded parts in this one with the newest one. So I can't say anything bad about this. There's something to keep an eye on, but this is a fantastic controller. Latency is great, feel is great. It's all about personality when it comes to the design. Like I said, there's different colorways. There's also a green one and a black one. So keep that in mind when you are purchasing. Now, the most important thing, we got to see how it feels during gameplay. So right off the bat, I'm going to say something that has nothing to do with this controller, but I'm going to be really sad to see this game taken down. I know at some point, being an online shooter, with the majority of it being online, even the single player incorporates online gameplay, it's going to be sad, and I don't know what game I'm going to incorporate into my controller test next. But with that being said, yeah, I've already adjusted the sticks. I want to try them at different heights. That one was at the highest there. That is the lowest. High again. Lowest. So yeah, I know you couldn't see that well, but hey. It feels fine. It feels just like any other PowerA controller. Now, I will say this does feel better than the symmetric controller. I wasn't a big fan of that one. It's not bad, but it felt a little off in the hand. This one does not. The rumble feels great. Remember the back buttons, the flappy paddles, they're there. They aren't mapped. You can use the PowerA app to do that. And you can use the PowerA app to adjust and customize your controller as well. So keep that in mind. I've covered that ad nauseum in the past. So yeah, I would just say download it on your Xbox or on your PC. But again, we are focusing on Xbox because that's where most people are going to buy this. Now, I do not mind that gloss/matte finish. It actually feels pretty good. The shoulder buttons and the triggers with that texture feel very nice too. Response time is super snappy. No issues whatsoever in terms of response. Yeah, trigger response time is super fast. Yeah, everything seems to be quick. Yeah, it feels great. I mean, the only thing I ever complain about on the PowerA sticks, I'm really not a fan of the standard texture up there. I usually put stick caps, but that's a complaint I have about a lot of sticks these days. I just haven't found that right, I guess, texture on the stick, except for when I'm using certain stick caps via Skull & Co. or now I think they're renamed Savage Raven. But those are the ones I like. If whether PowerA or 8-Bit Do or you name it, pick a company, had made their sticks like that, I would prefer that. But that's just me. I'm oddball when it comes to that. I know that has nothing to do with the controller itself. But overall, I like the controller. The grip feels nice. It's the same grip that's on their wireless controller for the Xbox that I think it's a Fortnite one and the Pac-Man one. I covered both, so it's really nice. No sweat, no slippage. That's nice. I'm trying to think of anything else that I haven't covered. The D-pad is still very comfortable. It's an A+ D-pad. Get it? A+ D-pad. Okay, but it's a solid D-pad. I think there's no issue with any of the face buttons. I do like the adjustable sticks. Whatever is going to be more comfortable for you, you can do that. And otherwise, I think the face buttons are just fine. I like PowerA's controllers because, one, I've never had any issues with them besides something that I've done to them. I've dropped a controller here or there in my day, but I think right out of the box, Hall effect sticks, solid membrane, adjustable sticks, programmable flappy paddles. This is going to be a great value, especially when you can get them as low as $39.99, whether it's on Amazon, on PowerA's website, or walk into a brick and mortar store like Best Buy or GameStop, what have you, to pick up something like this and not have to worry about having a Prime membership or ordering from a website that might take a week or more to get a replacement controller. You can just go, hey, I'm going to walk into Best Buy and get myself a controller for the Xbox with Hall effect sticks. That is rather affordable. So there you go. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions about the Advantage Plus line, let me know. I'll answer whatever I can. Like I said, thank you PowerA for sending me this. There are other color options you can get, black, green, you name it. There are more coming out. I think this might be their new Advantage line going forward because, well, it replaces the one without the Hall effect sticks, and everybody wants Hall effect sticks these days, so can't complain. Solid offering. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this video. God bless each and every one of you. Like we always say, be legendary. Thanks again.